you doing today, guys? It is Wednesday evening and I'm on my way to do a little disking. I got a disc behind me, a finished disc. Got the T5 back, everything's good on it. And we're going to go try it out. Actually, I've already been disking a little bit with it. Before I ate supper, my wife called and said I need to come in and eat. And seems like y'all are always catching me in time to eat. I eat 3 square meals a day. Just can't figure out how I keep getting round. That's the way it goes, I guess. You remember the place that I was running the big box blade at, and I got permission to hunt, and I was talking about that sun right in my eyes. See if I can get the sunshine trying to get the sunshade down and not crash. That's much better. Okay, the guys that were hunting here before were plowing the ground up, and they made a bunch of plow furrows, and they planted food plots, and they didn't have permission to do it. So what I'm trying to do is get those plow furrows smoothed back out and get it back close to being flat. And then what I'm going to do is get the big box blade, and I'm going to drag it with the big box blade and get it as smooth and flat as I can. And then of course I'll get the rocks off of it, and then I'm going to seed drill some probably some oats for cover crop, and then I'm going to put some fescue and orchard grass, and I'm probably going to start mowing some of this up here for hay. Is my plan. I think I can get about 4 acres of hay, maybe 5 acres of hay ground up here that I can take over with no problem. They told me I could cut hay off of it if I wanted to. So that is the plan right now. So we're going to head up in this driveway right now and do some more disking, and I'll show you what I've already disked before I went to eat dinner or supper, whatever you want to call it. But one thing I'd like to talk to y'all about is I've been kind of tractor shopping a little bit, and I'm looking into red tractors. Red tractors being Massey tractors, not Mahindra. As a matter of fact, I went today to South Carolina. I went down to McConnell's, South Carolina, and I looked at a Massey Ferguson 5610 with 1,700 hours on it. I was looking at a used one because I can afford a used one. I can't afford a brand new 5710 or 11 or 12. They're as much as this tractor, and I'm still paying on this tractor, so I don't need another $1,100 payment right now. But I can handle, half that or a little less. So I was trying to find a nice used tractor like that 5610, but I really liked the tractor. When I went and looked at it, I really liked it. But it was one thing after another when I'm trying this thing out. The first thing I do is I get in it and I head off down the road. Well, actually, I looked it over. I make sure the fluids are good, the fluids are okay. I noticed that the degas bottle on the radiator had some brown sludge in it, which I didn't care for. It was almost like rust in there. You could rub the bottle and get it all over your finger. It was real thick. It smelled like antifreeze, but it was real thick and gooey, and it was kind of like mud, but it was rust color, and it was gritty. I don't know if that's normal, or if it's some type of mineral that was in the water that was mixed in antifreeze, or if somebody put stop leak in there to try to cover up something else that may be going on that I can't, see from the outside. But that was one thing. Then I take it down the road, and I don't know if the thermostat stuck on it, or if it was airlocked, but it had been sitting a while. And I take off down the road, and it just immediately overheats and starts blowing antifreeze out of it. Starts steaming, and then I start, the warning buzzer went off. I wasn't paying attention to the gauges, because I was just kind of looking at all the stuff while I was driving, and all of a sudden this warning buzzer beep. So I was like, what the, and the gauge for the temperature, engine temperature, was flashing, and it was all the way up in the red. So I backed off the throttle, and I pulled over to the side of the road, and I let it sit there and idle, or I let it idle down, and then the engine shut itself off. So apparently it got to the threshold of actually cutting. The computer took over and shut the engine off, which is a good feature to have so somebody can't ruin the engine. But I had to sit there for about 30 minutes and let it cool off, and then I hobbled back to the dealership. I had to stop 2 more times before I got back to the dealership and let it cool off again. I didn't let it get as hot as it did the first time. I was paying attention. But after that, the salesman, he got some antifreeze and put in it, and he squeezed the hoses and stuff and burped some air out of it and got more antifreeze in it. And after that, it didn't heat anymore. So it must have been airlocked, or the thermostat was just stuck and it finally came open, because when it was hot, the radiator wasn't hot, because I got out and felt of the radiator, and it wasn't hot, but the engine was definitely hot. So it just wasn't circulating for some reason. They had just put a turbo and a manifold on it, and I'm not sure why. They didn't really know. Well, they didn't put it on. It was transferred from another dealer, and the dealer that had it before had put that on. So that was a kind of a mystery why it needed a turbo and a manifold at 1,700 hours. That's not a good thing. And then I took it for the second test drive. So I'm going along, and I'm gonna get started disking while I'm telling the story here. We'll set y'all. Take an intermission here from the story and look and see what I've already disked. This was furrowed really, really bad. As a matter of fact, I'll show you right here where I can't disk. I can't get the disc right over in here, but you can see how deep that furrow is. And they backed the tractor, or they backed the plow all the way back into that brush pile and plowed this, and they just plowed like a couple strips here and around the edge of the woods and out, and that was it down here, and they left this area. But then up here they plowed a rather large area. So I've disked a rather large area, and this was just, when you plow something, it was just rough as a cob when I started, and now it's pretty smooth up here, other than like where I was turning around. I wasn't raising the disc up, but I'll take care of that with the box blade. But I think it looks pretty good. I got it chopped up enough that the box blade should smooth it out nice. And then I'll get the rocks off, seed it, cultipack it. But I'll show you over here where we're getting ready to disc from. Okay, all this area here had been plowed. It wasn't plowed nearly as deep as the other side of the road, but you can see all this stuff laying down here is something they planted. I don't know what it was. Looks like broom straw to me. but all that down in there has been plowed up and all back into there. So I'm going to disc this side and get it as smooth as I can with a disc and get it chopped up, and then we'll smooth it up with the box blade. So let's get started and I'll finish my story. Alright, so we're getting started discing here. I've been doing a lot of tillage here lately with discs. That ought to make Jeff Raymond proud. Pulling disc with blue tractors. But anyway, I go out for the second time with this Massey Ferguson 5610, and I start down the road, and all of a sudden the air conditioner fan just quits blowing. Just out of nowhere, it just quits. And I turn the knob, nothing, can't get nothing to happen. So, well, now it's about 72 degrees down there. It started getting pretty hot in the cab. I'm like, well, that's not good, but that can be fixed. So then I get on down the road a pretty good ways, and I decide I'm running about 27 miles an hour in this tractor. It was pretty impressive to have a little 3-cylinder engine in it. It was 100 horsepower Sisu 3-cylinder diesel. But I thought I had plenty of power for what it was. But anyway, I hit the brakes, and it's got the automatic 4-wheel drive braking, just like all my other tractors. Now, I ain't never in my life heard such a racket. I gotta put the tractor in 4-wheel drive. I ain't never in my life heard such a clatter and clanging and banging in the transmission of that tractor. And so I turned it around and I put it in 4-wheel drive and drive it back and forth, and you can hear just chattering and clicking and all kinds of weird noises that shouldn't be there, I don't believe. And then every time it would disengage, the whole tractor would just jerk like it was in a bind. So I'm not sure what that was about, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as me buying the tractor. I just thought, you know, this thing just seems like, you know, maybe it's just coincidence all this is happening, but it just seems like, you know, something's trying to tell me maybe I shouldn't buy this tractor. So I decided to just leave it. On the way back, I'm going out this straightaway. I've never, you know, on this road I'm not familiar with. This straightaway is, you know, really long, and I'm about 100 yards from the end of it, and there's kind of a slight turn. Well, here comes this red car. This red car is probably doing 60 miles an hour. Well, it comes around that turn and it forgets to turn. It goes straight across the road in front of me, which I'm not to it yet, fortunately, and hits the bank, and this bank is turned about straight up. That car goes up in the air, I kid you not, 25 to 30 feet, straight up, and hits the bottom of it, smacks into a tree, kind of to the left side of the bottom of the car. And when it does that, it kind of twists the car around, and it flies back and deflects the car, and it flies back into the road and lands upside down. And I was like, holy cow, man. So, you know, I'm right there, so I get out, and this other guy stops, and he's over there, he runs over there and is trying to get the guy out of the car. So you know, I see the guy sticking his head out of the sunroof, and he's wiggling his way out. So I knew he was alive. So I went ahead and I started calling 911, and I get a hold of an operator, and I have no clue what road I'm on. And they're like, well, do you know where you are? And I'm like, no, all I know is I'm in near the Massey Ferguson dealer. And they're like, well, we don't know where that's at. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm in McConnell's. And she's like, oh, well, that's a different county. Let me transfer you. So she transfers me to somebody else. Well, somebody else answers, and this guy's like, well, where are you at? And I said, I'm in McConnell's. He's like, oh, that's a different district. Let me transfer you somewhere else. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So they transfer me to somebody else, and this person answers, and I was like, I say, you know, they asked me where I am. I said I'm in McConnell's near the Massey Ferguson dealer. But we don't know where the Massey Ferguson dealer is. So I finally run up there to the guy that was helping the other guy get out of the car, and I said, where the heck, what road is this? And he said, it's McConnell Drive or something like it, McConnell Road. And so I said, okay, so I'm McConnell Road. And they were like, oh yeah, we know where that's at. And I was like, I said, just below the Massey First there. Yeah, we see it on the computer now. So they finally sent an ambulance and a fire truck. But anyway, I didn't stick around for all that. I seen the guy got out of the car, and he was walking around, kinda, and he was okay. And he sat down next to his car, and I got back in the tractor and went on back to the dealership. But I had an interesting morning this morning. It was just, you know, everything about that trip to look at that tractor was just kind of weird. I didn't have any issues getting there or getting back. Just while I was there, everything kind of went haywire. So I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, I really wished I could afford a 5610, and I could afford that one. What I was going to do was either sell or trade my TN95. By the way, if any of y'all are interested in my TN95, and I know y'all have probably seen it in some of my videos, it's a good tractor. I am considering selling that tractor if any of y'all are interested in it. A little bit rough right there. I need to get turned the other way and go with the rows. But anyway, that was my tractor buy. It's not really a buying story because I didn't buy it. It was a tractor story. Tractor something story. Picking up a hitchhiker. All right, so now I've picked up a hitchhiker. So the 5610 is not the only tractor that I was looking at, and I just can't decide what to do really. But I've been looking at a brand new 4710 Massey Ferguson, which of course is just a 12-speed transmission. I would rather have a 16-speed power shift, but you know, it's still an upgrade from the TN95. The TN's got a 12-speed also, but it's 3 ranges with 4 gears instead of the 47 has 2 ranges with 6 gears in each range. That's a little better setup, but I still don't know how well it would do square bailing, because that's what I want to use it for, a lot of square bailing. I'm not sure still a 12-speed would have enough gears to get me, you know, just that sweet spot for square bailing. Maybe Bagwell Farms can enlighten me on that. I know he probably hadn't square bailed yet with his new 47, but I'm sure he's probably square bailed with his 4610 that he had. Anyway, I also looked at, I know, but I looked at a Kubota M5 111. I went and test drove it, and I did kind of like it. What, buddy? Okay, I did kind of like it, but you know, the dealer service department kind of sucks at the Kubota place. What, buddy? Yeah. disc. Okay? Pulling the disc. Blow the horn, right? Okay. So anyway, that's what's been on my mind here lately is upgrading the TN95 to a little more comfortable tractor for riding in all day in the hay. You know, it's a good tractor. You know, it's a good compact tractor. I really love the tractor for field maintenance, driveway maintenance, cutting limbs and stuff like that. It's just not ideal for riding in it all day, in my opinion. Some people, I'm sure, don't mind riding in it. But we can do it. Put them in neutral. Got my signal light on. Blow the horn. But anyway, see what y'all think about some of those tractors. If I didn't get a big tractor, I thought about getting a compact tractor for around the house. So that was on the list too, and maybe if I didn't end up getting a bigger tractor, I was thinking about getting a small compact tractor, either a New Holland, like a Boomer 33, or I did look at the Kubota B2650, and I liked it pretty good. But there again, Kubota has screwed me before, and I'm hesitant to go back to Kubota. But you know, I did look at them to get, you know, I didn't rule them out. Just, you know, I like their equipment. It's just the way that I've been treated by Kubota in the past, I'm not happy with it. But anyway, those are the things that are in my brain right now, and that's about all I got for today. So we're going to keep on disking this up until we get it chopped up where I'm happy with it. Me and Dorsey's going to hang out a little while and talk about women and stuff like that. Not really. He's too young and I'm married. But anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one.